Okay, if you saw the Lions roster breakdown, you probably went into a couple spots and were like, what in the world are they doing? And one of them was at the running back position. And this is why this title is the Lions just made a sneaky good move, because it might actually be genius. So here's what it is. We're going to get to that. But first, like the channel if you haven't. Subscribe. Why not? Hit a subscribe button and leave a comment below and let me know if you think they're playing with fire or if you think this was a good move. So when I initially saw the Lions 53-man roster, I was like, what happened? We had open house thing for my daughter's school. So we get back and I had to record this right away. I'm like, they only have 2 running backs. They kept Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. If you want to count Jason Kabinda, go for it. But that's all that they kept. That's all that they kept. So Benny Snell, see ya. Jamar Jefferson, injury designation, see ya. Oh my goodness, the injuries in this running back room this preseason. Absolute insanity, right? Just insanity. Craig Reynolds, that was the shocker of all shockers. And this is why it's a sneaky good move, because there are more reports coming out that Craig Reynolds is actually going to make his way back to the roster for these Detroit Lions. You might ask yourself, why? Well, most of these players, you'll see different things. Detroit Lions release so-and-so. Detroit Lions waive so-and-so. There is a difference. You see, Craig Reynolds is a veteran player. He has 4 years of experience. So they released him. And what that means is that he is not subject to waivers. When you get waived, you're subject to waivers. So if he's not subject to waivers, the Lions could very well have approached him and say, hey, man, we are going to release you right now. We will bring you back tomorrow. Okay, so here's the reason. And you might be asking, like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? So there's 2 reasons for it, maybe even 3. It depends on how I explain it. And I haven't decided how I'm going to explain it yet. But here's what we're looking at. He had no guaranteed money on his contract this year. So it could be a win for him to say, okay, release me and then sign me back with guaranteed money on my contract. That's the win for Craig Reynolds. That's how we could do him a solid. But still, why would it happen? Also, another thing on that is because he had no guaranteed money on his contract, when we released him, there's no dead cap hit on it as well. So why would they do it? Now you have to look at other players with injury designations. If you put a player on the IR, okay, injured reserve, whatever it stands for. Okay, if you put a player on the IR before the end of preseason, his season is over. It's done. But if you wait until tomorrow, Wednesday, depending on when you're watching this, okay, Wednesday, if you wait till Wednesday, I believe it's at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. If you wait till Wednesday at 4 o'clock to put someone on IR, you can put them and they can return in a minimum of 4 weeks. Now, there are 2 players right now that made the Lions roster that we know are hurt. And those 2 players are Julian Okwara, who I remember when I don't know if you saw my defense and the interesting decision or the 50, like making, I think it was like answering the big questions on Lions 53-man roster before cutdowns. I was saying Julian Okwara was that number 7 defensive end. He might make it, he might not. Well, they kept him. The other player is Ifeatu Melifonwu, Iffy. Okay, both players are hurt, but both players aren't hurt bad enough that you want to put them on the IR. So if you can keep 53 players, you say goodbye to Craig Reynolds, and then tomorrow you put both Okwara and Melifonwu, or one of Okwara and Melifonwu, on the IR. Now you open up a spot for Craig Reynolds to come back on the team. And then you're like, okay, but then what happens in 4 weeks? Like when they come back from injury? It's the NFL. Somebody else is going to be on the IR. So that's not going to be a problem. And that's how rosters go. They move, they ebb and flow all the time. So, yeah, that's why they did this. I think this was a very good, like kind of good, sneaky decision by the Lions. And I'm going to go out here and say it. I love Craig Reynolds. I know people on this channel love Craig Reynolds. We all kind of have this fascination. He's a good running back. He's not great at anything. That's why he's the third running back, right? Like he's not exceptionally fast. He's not fast. He's not exceptionally quick. He's not exceptionally powerful. He's not exceptionally elusive. He's just, I wouldn't describe him as fast. I would say he's kind of quick. I would say he's kind of powerful and he's pretty elusive. So he's not like this guy where it's like, well, what if he goes and signs somewhere else? Okay, then we sign another running back. Like when you look at this offensive line, there's a lot of running backs around the league that can do good things behind this line. I mean, look at the Cleveland Browns and the New England Patriots just made a trade 3 days ago. The Cleveland Browns got Pierre Strong Jr. from the New England Patriots for a backups tackle, probably a fourth tackle. And so it worked out well for both teams. That's not a high price to pay, a depth offensive lineman for a running back that was going to come in, has sub 4.4 speed, has shown to have good catch out of the backfield, and can be productive in the NFL. These guys are out there. They're running backs. Okay. So Reynolds is, got those 4 years so he could be released. I mean, he's already getting to the point in his career where he's, you could say prime, but he's on the decline almost already because that's just the life of a running back. So I think what this looks like is there's going to be moving pieces. Maybe we bring him back and we made him that promise. Craig Reynolds has been here long enough where he probably has that rapport and that relationship with the staff. Maybe we're going to be looking somewhere else. Maybe I don't know what it looks like. I'm going to do another video that I'm going to put out tomorrow where I'm going to talk about some of the most surprising roster cuts and kind of the players that I'm excited about that made it, that were fringe players that I think could have a purpose or could have the ability to make an impact for this team. So I'm going to be talking about that as well. But right now, I just wanted to talk about this move that the Lions made. I don't think I've ever seen a football team come out with 2 running backs. Like you could put Kabinda in there at running back, like if you needed to in a pinch, I guess, but it wouldn't go well. Like it's not one of those things. So anyways, let me know what you think about the move, and we'll kind of go from there. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you on the next one.